You know, guys, nothing really matters. So you should just be yourself, even if you are a little bit silly.
Greetings, everyone. Let's go. So much love. We have an amazing show tonight, thrown together spontaneously, but I know with the amazing people like Silas and Chris Miner will come. Who knows who else will show up? You never know, but we will crack firmaments and paradigms. That's what we're here for, folks, and we do it with love. And 2026 has not been a disappointment on all of my tinfoil hat esoteric training leading up to this year has has pointed to all these things, and yet it's still incredible to see them happen while we are here. It's truly a blessing to be experience what is going on now. So without further ado, let me introduce the homie Silas Gaultier. What's up, man?
Yeah, man, how's it going? Yeah, 2026 has been quite a year, hasn't it? It's
Yeah,
we're not even midway through it yet, so yeah.
it's wild
Lot,
because it was kind of expected. It was kind of like I was mentally prepared with all the info, and it's just like it's here now. It's like pretty still wild to like experience this, you know.
oh yeah, it did. It almost feels as well like we're going through a sort of mass initiation ceremony throughout
Right.
all of this entire decade, leading up to 2030. But I think as well, if you see through and you disentangle all of the chaos and you sort of rise above the pain and the misery that they're trying to inflict upon us all, I think you become a hell of a lot stronger for it. I think you become a better person. So there is a silver lining to this story.
Uh, well, always, and that's what I call the casting process, or you're getting tempered, and the impurities are going away. So it's kind of funny. I don't see them as doing me any favors, but I get the concept of taking my well, gosh, I guess I could do some mental jujitsu where it's like comfort will take away my creativity, perhaps. But it's interesting, Silas. I don't think they're doing us any favors in that regard. But maybe zoom out and maybe this wider journey here. That is the point, I guess.
I mean, they're always blinded by their hubris, and eventually they will succumb to their own greed and their own, as I said, hubris, and eventually we will come out of it all the better. And of course, as well, I have a general um, notion regarding all of this that's going on, which is it's cyclical. There's a cyclicality to it,
Don't
that's ongoing. So yeah, no bad time lasts forever.
absolutely. This is cyclical. These iterations, yeah, where it is definitely you're on the clock, and it's pretty much you can observe these just by the I always point, for me when it comes to my clock, I just look up at the luminaries above our head spinning around our head, and that is absolutely cyclical. And I think that determines a lot of this, and that's where a lot of mythologies come from, etc. And a lot of this is organic. And then what I think we comment on a lot is the magicians know that as well, and they try and position themselves in a way that it makes them look powerful when they're just happen to be knowledgeable of the cycles. I mean, there's so much involved in that. And guys, before we get too deep, check out Silas's channel. I mean, this was just yesterday, I believe, and I really liked it. And wonder if I should play some, because I remember you said, I don't remember the time mark. You said something really amazing that summed this up. But Silas's channel is in my description if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, that was an interesting discussion. It's a sort of thought that I've been developing and exploring, and Eros had his take on it as well, and he also took it into another sort of philosophical area as well regarding Ludwig Klages, which is to the west, this sort of obscure 19th/20th century philosopher. And he spoke about this battle that it's ongoing within mankind itself, between that of the soul and that of what he called the Geist, but it's basically the active intellect. It's this part of the mind that's constantly conjuring concepts and trying to narrow everything into sort of cold, binary, paralyzed categories. And this is, of course, what we see with AI. It's what we see, of course, as well with the wizards, the magicians, the illusionists. Everything that they do it's all basically fueled by art. This sort of artificial or poor imitation, this mimetic need to be like God, or to sort of conquer God, by thus wearing the sort of corpse of God, right? And this is what Eros was going through as well. But the idea really spawned from the previous video that I did on the White House Correspondents' Dinner event. And I'm starting to see all of these various events as ARGs, which is basically alternate reality games. And the reason for that, the reason that alternate reality games are so they're so potent, at least in terms of psychological control, is because if you lay out the dots or the breadcrumbs for a person, and they, like, of their own volition or of their own accord, or at least under that belief, if they, follow that trail of breadcrumbs, connect that sort of trail of dots, then eventually what the sort of outcome, the predestined outcome, the prefigured outcome that they come to, they will eventually fiercely defend that, because it's what's called the IKEA effect. So, for example, with the IKEA effect, IKEA, I don't know if you guys have it in America, but here in Europe, basically you get flat pack furniture and such. If you construct this flat pack furniture, you have a sort of psychological feeling of accomplishment, and you get a dopaminergic high, right? Of course, with IKEA furniture, it's not necessarily as dopaminergically activating or stimulating as, say, what I'm talking about here, the ARG. But this is a psychological effect. And so basically you will fiercely defend something you believe you've come to on your own terms, or you've constructed yourself. And yeah, I'm starting to extend this to the entire conspiracy culture. And so I'm starting to explore that idea.
So the puzzle, so you solve a puzzle that they presented, and it placates that hey, I that curiosity or that accomplishment part of one's brain, and you go, I figured some things out. And it's they presented that, or they laid that out for you to kind of placate that part of your desire of that accomplishment of figuring something out, when really you didn't figure anything out. They laid that in front of you.
That's spot on. But the reason for it as well is it ties in with the coming AI system, which is that they don't really care if you critique them. What they see, whether you participate in their system or you feel as though you have a non-participatory stance, you're still generating. Even a non-participatory stance, as Eros states, or at least claims in that video, it's still participating, because you still have to go through the various events, the various concepts to determine if something's fake, even if you automatically assume that it's fake. You're still producing data. That's all they care about, ultimately.
You know what that just made me think of? Man, it's like oh my gosh. It's like an Easter egg hunt, and your parents laid out some Easter eggs, and you're a little kid and you found them and you think you did something. You're like, I found them. And your parents like, good job.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Congratulations. You're brilliant. And you're a little 3-year-old, 4-year-old toddler mind. You're like, I did something today, but really it was a setup.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Chris Minor, what's up, bro?
What's up? My bad. I was running a little late as always. It's my trademark. What's going on, Silas?
California time.
How's it going, dude? Yeah, man.
Good, man. But yeah, this ARRG, alternative reality game, mixed reality game idea, I think has been a lot of, I mean, I know Silas, you and I have talked about this. And then we stopped for a while. Even I feel like even me and you, Ronin, have brought this up for every once in a while. And then we let it go. But it does seem to be the repeating pattern. Like, it just seems to be the way that they intend on making the system, how do I put this? Like something that people want to participate in.
A treadmill. The mice.
Well, it's like the only way they're going to get a participatory system, one that people actually like will participate in, is if they gamify it.
Yeah, man, and that's why, like, when a lot of people think they're winning the game from a materialistic standpoint, they still feel horrible. But they get the little dopamine hits, and they go, "I got a Lamborghini" or whatever, and it's like, still feel hollow inside. And that's a trap. All these traps and psyops are in reference to that. Like, and Chris, this is kind of like seems like we default to these types of topics, at least on the edge, because it's boiled down and it's what it is, evidently. It's kind of weird, I still want to get a high video game score in my digital score as far as monetary numbers. But it definitely doesn't mean anything. It doesn't bring contentment, but yeah. Can I just play Silas's video? I think this is a good random spot that I picked. Just like 1 minute to show some of the brilliance and his convo with Eros. Is that cool, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't cue this up proper, Chris, but I have a feeling this is like a good place. Maybe just to get a taste.
Group of people who are actually massive threat to 95% of humanity. What it does is it puts them in almost an indefensible position, because the people who would respond to them actually become disabled by the inability to construct narrative anymore. It clouds their vision and their ability to see the connections between things and then to respond to the connections between things. And it either sort of like gates them into a very certain, they're looking for something very specific. I'm just waiting for the reptilians. That's the big thing. Everything else is a distraction. It's just the reptilians. So they're going to get gated into like very specific orthodox, like you said, viewpoints and answers for what's happening. Or they just completely lose the ability, right, to discern. Right? To discern is to not just negate everything, but it's to use the power of negation to separate and to move things around and organize them, right? They lose the ability for discernment because they've been stunned basically by this process of this hyper negation. So they're starting them from a young age.
You're I mean, that is absolutely jaw dropping, totally jaw dropping. But
Correct.
it just
Literally what we
shows
were just
that
talking
the
about.
system has
Mhm.
become so totalizing that it actually commodifies its own critique. It wants to actually bring about distrust. And I noticed as well, I wasn't really young enough to, pardon me, I wasn't old enough, pardon, to sort of, latch on to the conspiracy culture, in sort of post 9/11 and that, but, the early sort of 2000s. But by the early 2010s, I was on YouTube watching those sorts of old, I guess you would call them old timey conspiracy videos and what have you, hour long, discussions and things like that.
That's Eros just nailed it. I just picked that as a random spot, Chris, in the time. He literally nailed it. What we were just talking about, and even some of the comments in our chat here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Silas.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought that was a very profound point, and basically he mentions that if we see with this is going to be rather controversial, or it may be sort of mind bending, if you will, but the reason that all of these events now are becoming so fake, and this sort of meme has become very popularized now. We demand better psyops. The reason that the psyops, these made for TV events, are so utterly bad, they're so fake, they're so phony, and it's so clear to see through it in terms of the transparency of its fakeness, is because that is by design. It's by design. And the reason for that is because they want to put you into what I call into a headspace of terminal discernment, which is that you eventually, because of the pure fakery that you're seeing in every single narrative, you eventually just automatically assume that everything is fake. And eventually that begins to sort of creep into every single part of your life. So it almost becomes an existential ideology, an existential ingrained ideology within your mind. So there was one comment I had today on that video, and the individual stated, he's quite entitled to his. I respect his opinion. That this is merely as well just intellectual speculation. I just want to sort of explore this idea, because I think perhaps we've become too complacent with automatically assuming everything to be fake, right? And then letting that dictate the totality of our existence as well. I see a great danger in that. But he stated that, of course, if I see a gunman in front of me, right, I'm going to have a threat detection with that. I'm going to have fear, effectively, with that. But anything beyond that, I won't. And basically what he's stating is anything he can't necessarily see or measure with his own eyes, he's not going to assume there's any danger with it. And what this does is it actually turns you into a frictionless ghost within the system. You actually offer no resistance against the system. Because what occurs as they're building out the data centers and all of the physical architecture for your enslavement, you assume that everything is fake because you're in that state of terminal discernment where you automatically assume everything is fake. You've basically reached a point of epistemic and cognitive exhaustion. And then from there, you simply just almost become a passive actor. And you become passive because you get a dopaminergic high every time an event occurs. You don't necessarily have to look into it. You just naturally assume that it's fake. I mean, of course, as well, the scenery of most of these events are totally fake as well, right? I mean, just off the bat. But you get a sort of intellectual superiority. So actually, firstly, you get a dopaminergic high because of that sort of intellectual superiority of knowing outrightly it's fake. And moreover, as well, you also you you sort of it's a way to insulate your ego from the complexity of it all, from this sort of labyrinthian system, this gargantuan system that's bearing down upon us all, like this looming shadow of of a sort of hellscape, a sword of Damocles. So basically, that's what I think's going on. I almost think as well that they've cultivated that idea of automatic denialism into the conspiracy culture. I'm starting to come round to that idea, and I think it's been done because it basically turns us into frictionless, passive actors that offer no resistance, while of course they build out these data centers and the infrastructure of our enslavement. So that's why I think that's what I'm sort of exploring now.
Yeah, man. Oh, I hear you. Just, I mean, in the practical sense, we're all sitting here very, well aware people, observers, and decoders, and whatever one wants to call themselves, and we see this stuff that you just mentioned, Silas, and connect super obvious dots, and then as well as some more occultic hidden dots, and it's like, what do you want to do? Put on a sign on your shoulders and stand at the corner and yell out like a crazy person talking about the end of times is near? You want to be one of those people, but because no one's going to listen. So
We'll see as well. That's a really great point. That's why they've targeted us, because we effectively are the intellectual class. We're the ones that can pose can pose a threat to them, that can offer resistance to them. And so they need to ensure that we are placated. And one way of doing that is effectively inducing what is solipsism. I mean, eventually this turns into solipsism, because if you feel everything is fake unless you see it with your own eyes, then eventually you sort of just live in your own echo chamber, your own bubble, which is exactly what that commenter was effectively stating. Of course, he wasn't necessarily aware of it, because he's so ingrained into this ideological framework. He basically is stating, I only have threat detection with the things that I can see, meaning he's basically tacitly stating that he has no political outreach. So there's no political resistance that he is offering into the system or inducing into the system. He's got no physical or provisional resistance, meaning that he's preparing against this physical architecture that they're building with the data centers, and he offers no geopolitical resistance. So eventually, basically, he's basically put himself into a containment chamber. He can offer no systemic or systematic resistance, and I don't think people are fully aware of that. And it's been a slow process, it's a slow boil.
they've even taken over the quote unquote radicals, which is in their playbook, like literal publications. So if you're like, I'm at my wit's end, I'm going to take out a data center near my house in some, aggressive way, but you won't get sympathy from the masses because they do their agent provocateurs and these wackos that'll burn something cool down, or burn a forest down, or support. And they think it sucks, because if you go, I'm gonna do some underground vigilante resistance stuff, they're going to silo you from the rest of the sympathy from any of the masses, because they're going to look at you as a bad person.
That's a superb point as well, Ronin. And another thing to add to that, to extrapolate out that point, is that you also don't get sympathy from the dissident class either, because the dissident class have this idea that if you were to do something like that, that you must be a crisis actor, or you must be a shill, or you must be working for you must be an agent under MK Ultra or something along those lines, that you're trying to, push the narrative. Because ultimately, what you find with this line of thinking is eventually it sort of in a very unwitting way, in a very subtle way, it almost conditions the dissident class to view the spectacle more than actually view the physical ramifications that come from the event. So, for example, they wouldn't view the collapse of those two towers in 2001. They're viewing the spectacle of it. Is it fake? What's going on? Is even if they automatically assume it, they're still going through that process. It's just in a sort of quickened, a quickened time frame. But they're still going through it. Is it fake? Is this fake? What's happening with this event? So they're viewing. They're completely glued to the spectacle, to the event. They're not necessarily thinking about what are the physical repercussions from that event. Are they going to bring in new legislation? Are they going to bring in new architecture? How are they going to change the behavior of the citizenry?
Hegelian, you don't know. Yeah, is it a Hegelian dialectic, and then they have 50,000 pages of legislation prepared for the next day just for that particular whatever the thing is at that that you're talking about. This reminds me, Silas, have you seen the movie? I believe it was Blade Runner, but like a new one. They had like a new one like in the last.
Oh yeah, 2042, I think it was. Blade Runner 2042.
No, not Blade Runner. Running Man. Wait, Running Man.
I just saw Running Man the other night. Yeah.
So that is full of stuff. And I brought that up when we were talking before, Silas, a few months ago, the dairy. You guys were talking dairy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And there's a dairy reference in that.
Yeah, it's in the same universe. It's like this it's all transmedia storytelling. It's mixed reality, alternative reality.
Oh, I didn't know those books.
Yeah, that was Stephen King. He wrote it under a different name, a moniker, whatever you want to call it, it's pseudonym. But it's now known to be Stephen King.
Yeah, so and the reason I bring that up, there's so much there, but I'm just going to stick to the topic that reminded me of what Silas is. The guy is a dissident, and he's doing organic dissident things. He does have people on his side, and he does have people that witness his actions in IRL, but the media in the movie, they'll even do CGI, and they put him as a terrorist. And if you're like someone, even if you're just, imagine being like a single mother who's living off of whatever, and they see that, and they go, oh my gosh, there's a fear kind of there. Like, this guy is a terrorist, and so they can character assassinate. Dude, they even use CGI, Chris, to make them, do little manifestos and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's all like deep fakes and stuff. He can't even record his own messages.
That reminded me. I mean, they're showing that literally in the Hollywood. Real fast, I just want to show. Hold on, let me hide this. This was a show that I did. Speaking of dissidents, we know one. I'm a dissident as well, but I'm a little more clumsier than this guy, the slick dissident. This was on, believe it or not, this show, the Ronin Experience. By the way, you guys shared New Earth Fitness, who I've never heard of. I'm sure he's great. When you're out there in the world, man, why don't you share the Ronin Experience, y'all? This is a mom and pop operation, This is a single family operation. We could use a little,
Who did they share?
Word of mouth. The New Earth Fitness.
No idea.
And they were saying he's cool. I'm not familiar with him, and it looks like he works out, and he probably has, some good vibes or whatever. Looks cool. I don't know. I mean, This guy's got 27,000, which is great. I'm sure he earned it. We got 900, y'all. So, you know, we get 11 likes every show. You know what I'm saying? So, we have legends on here, like Silas is a legend. And, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, give a little ethereal Yelp review out there. But this is from 2 years ago. We were talking about black goo. So I'm just going to play it for like a second. Almost 3 hours of just Slick and I getting slick on the dissidents.
هاولي يسيطرون ملي دراهم من بلادنا ما يروحوا شو لي مليار راهم يتفرداو لهنا هذا ما قدروش يخدموه ولا وشنو.
What was that from?
Greetings, everyone. Yo, it's the oil.
Yo, we are expecting the fabulous.
So well, you can't check it out because I delete my show. I hide my shows. Look at me vamping by myself until Slick shows up. But I'm saying the Ronin Experience is a low-key, powerful show, folks. Like, we've been around a long time. We just don't get that, you know. So we are dissidents, though. Don't let them, how you say, try and deep fake us, Chris.
What was that from?
That was from the Ronin Experience, dude.
No, I mean, what the event, man? I saw it was on your channel. Yeah.
That oil coming out of the ground, the black goo. The Earth's blood lubricant. That's from, I don't remember where I got that vid. Chris, you're asking me something that I found 2 years ago.
That was some shiny looking oil.
Yeah, it's right out the ground.
What do you think, Silas?
Well, I do find it interesting that the entire, well, still to this day, the entire world is run by effectively what is supposed to be the sort of death and decay of prior cycles and prior epochs. I think there's something poetic in that, and I think it's poetic in terms of how it relates to the system itself, and this idea of secret wisdom. That itself is this secret wisdom, this mystery that they've kept closely guarded over these epochs, and even, you know, from reset to reset, that it's you know, it itself is from that death and decay. You know, if we assume that, you know, the precursor civilizations collapsed due to perhaps what they're attempting to do right now, which is make this sort of this Kardashev leap, you know, this leap to transcend the bounds of what it means to be human, technologically, biologically, what have you. And then, of course, after each cycle, it fails. That's what induces the collapse. Makes you wonder, I mean, is there something beyond that's controlling these cycles, that's even controlling them? That they themselves are just mere harbingers for a sort of cyclic reset, not just obviously every 250 years or 200 years or so, but every, you know, the larger resets, right? Because, of course, it's like a matryoshka doll structure. That itself is what rejuvenates the earth. I mean, for example, someone mentioned in the comments, like what they're doing with, you know, the destruction of the potable water, the fresh water. I watched a video recently there with, in the Midwest of the US, the Oglala Reservoir, or aquifers rather. All of that's being completely eroded. With the data center build out, it's accelerating this depletion of that aquifer, which is vitally strategic to the food reserves of the US. But it's like they don't care, you know.
Dude, there's some new stuff out I just saw today. Lake Tahoe here in the US, I believe it's Utah, but it's on the border of California and Utah. Reno, Nevada, not Utah, Nevada. The electrical source there, that the company that provides energy, told Tahoe, they were like, hey guys, you got 1 year to, the power company. We're not giving you any energy anymore. This is where you get 100% of your energy. We're diverting that to the data center. Good luck. Hope you guys find some energy, but peace. And like seriously, I just found that out today. And by the way, to the homie, and thanks for subbing. Monica subbing. What's up? What is up? Monica B in the place to be. And by the way, Age of Warriors, I don't believe in peak oil or dinosaur oil or carbon oil. I believe it's replenishable. This is, so I'm not a peak oil, dinosaur oil person. It's a farce, in my opinion, to generate scarcity. Just my opinion. And it's based on lots of research. So if you want to look into it, it's not a finite source. It's an infinite source, and it just needs to replenish. And they want to burn it, of course, and for their own ritual. So I just want to throw that out there. And I just put in that link to that vid if you guys want to check it out. It's private, but you should be able to click on it and see what's up. So and shout out to the dinosaurs didn't even exist, man. Dinosaurs did not even exist. Now spiritual ascension, you want to talk dragons? Chris always laughs when I say this. You want to talk dragons? I'll talk dragons with you. Bro, you want to talk titans? I'll talk titans with you. But dinosaurs, look at the Bone Wars. If you're a dinosaur believer and you're more older than 8 years old, and I'm not trying to be, if you're older than 8 years old, I would look into the Bone Wars of the 1800s. And that's why, 92 factions were making dinosaur modules or, the fossils. Were creating dinosaur fossils. 95% of them were fake. And it was big money. And so does that mean the other 5 were legit? I don't think so. So there was very big money in generating fake dinosaur fossils. And let's just say it started in the 1800s in America only. So, just saying, but it's funny if you try and go research Bone Wars, you're going to have you got to know how to find things that are scrubbed from the internet, because it's scrubbed from the internet. It's what's up with this homie? I'm just going through the chat. Serendipity. I feel that. I just found it. Let's see. I just found out there's a data center near me, and the residents who live close to it says they use heaps of diesel to operate it. Why the fuel shortages? Imagine the smell. Dude, they're popping up everywhere over here, man. They're going to take the water, the energy, and they're going to pollute the place and turn it into a wasteland. So
it's all playing out. Revelation, the book of Revelations is all playing out. The sea of metal and whatever, wasn't that a part of it? Fiery seas of liquid metal and whatnot.
Mercury or something?
I don't know if they get into Mercury, but it's something. It's something like.
Get your preacher on, bro. Bible thump that Bible, dude.
I don't have any one. Well, I do have one semi close to me, but I'm not looking it up. I know it says something about melted metal will cover the earth and water shall disappear.
What's interesting as well about the whole dinosaur thing, and also the dragon mythology, is that itself probably relates to deeper astronomical or astro-esoteric concepts, to coin a term. So, for example, with the precessional cycle of supposedly it's 26,000 years as it's been estimated within the esoteric works. Again, we don't really know this to be the case, right? Because, of course, no one's alive for 26,000 years, neither is civilization been around for that long, even under, official standards. And anyway, there's 7 major near pole stars, that this sort of cycles around. we're in Polaris right now. That's our pole star. That became our pole star in around about 1700 BC or so. But prior to that point, beginning in around about 3900 BC, which just so happens to be the year zero dates of approximately of that of the Anno Lucis calendar, which its year zero is 4000 BC, and the Anno Mundi calendar of the Hebrew or Judaic tradition, and the Kabbalistic tradition, which puts their year zero at 3761 BC. So they're near as damn it to when Thuban became our pole star, our North Star. And Thuban in Arabic means the serpent.
Mhm.
And Thuban is also known in its Latin designation as Alpha Draconis, because, of course, it's the Alpha, the first star within the Draco constellation. Now, interestingly, of course, the Draco constellation, the dragon, Draco as well, or dragon, also derives from the Greek, the ancient Greek drakon, meaning serpent or giant sea fish, hence the Leviathan. But it also derives from the Greek verb derkome, meaning to see clearly or to watch, to gaze. And of course, what the reptile never blinks, right? You also find as well within Draco the Cat's Eye Nebula. So very, very interesting. You hear about the dragon's brow constantly within these esoteric works. But you'll notice Draco, which is the reptile, that encompasses the constellation Polaris is in, which is, of course, Ursa Minor, which is the little bear. So that's the mammal. So this idea that you see, between the sort of evolution from reptile to mammal, that reptiles were once dominant, then they died off because of a meteor strike, right? Meaning the stars or the rocks, the stone fell from heaven, right? The fallen one, right? This is what it even means when the serpent falls in the Garden of Eden, or Lucifer falls. It's the idea with the Draco or Thuban fallen away from the north, being our North Star, our pole star, and that of Polaris taken over. So what you're seeing here within the scientific world is probably just a sort of outgrowth, an exoteric or revealed outgrowth of an esoteric truth that the mystery religions have regarding the movement from Draco or Thuban to Polaris and Ursa Minor. So the reptile gave way to the mammalian, right? So I think it's something like that that's going on.
Yep.
Well, oh, go ahead. Sorry, Ronin. Go ahead, brother.
Well, it's funny. Well, okay, so let me just read this comment because I'm caught between three different opinions I want to share, but because there's so much in here. Yeah, just for this, the homie, remove the scales from your eyes. Totally. Speaking of dragons, it's interesting. And dragon is not a bad word to me. I think, put your dragon horde together, and even the dragonfly is the only fly that can see around its head 360 degrees all at once, get that dragonfly vision. But there's a lot with dragons, and I love the etymology, Silas. I kind of see cons, I always add, when I see gons, I always add cons. And I mentioned the other day, Ken, by the way, check out the Ronin experience from Friday. It was dope. We had Third Eye Edify, Silas crushed, Chris crushed, and I said stuff too. And Ken means gnosis, right? So when you boil it down, knowing, right? So I believe that's part of it. And I wanted to share this vid real fast. It's just like a minute, but the chat's, oh yeah. So the people's attitude, right? This is what really gets me going. People will say, well, what can I do? I'm just one person. Or if you can't beat them, join them. Or they already got our data, so why do anything? Or there's already this. And so nothing I can do. And it is definitely the impotent voices of a cowardly justification to So also so they're not alone as well to justify their cowardice, complying and obeying, etc. I'm not a fan of that, and doing so in a way where it actually mental feng shui's into some sort of goofy prisoner obedience virtue, you know, like it's virtuous. You know what I'm saying? Like, Aaron ain't got this. And I'll give a perfect analogy on the, hey, they already have our data, so what can I do? And maybe you guys heard this, that I've made this up months ago, but I look at it like you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, right? Or a husband or wife. And they know all about you, right? You're together. Everyone knows what you're up to, where you go to work, you know, your kind of how you move, times and dates you go to places, your friends and family, etc. When you break up, when you reevaluate that relationship and you break up and go your separate ways, I'm all about, you know, do you keep that same energy going? They already know everything about me, so for the rest of my life, my ex is just going to know everything. They just have an open book to my bank account forever, everywhere I go, and who I know and where, you know, this and that. And you're going to be like, no, of course not. We broke up. Yes, exactly. So no matter, in my opinion, here on the Ronin experience, no matter what topic that we're discussing, you have to have intellectual integrity and apply that to everything. You know, can't be selective on your so-called intellectuality and talk about one thing in one way and then talk about other stuff in a different way. I see a incongruent thought pattern there that I can't respect and I can't ride with, you know. So just want to throw that out there. I know that's slightly off topic, but also on topic. But yo, Chris, you want to say, can I play?
Yeah.
You want to
Before you do that, I was just gonna say real quick, that little pattern Silas was talking about with the pole star and the switch from Draco, it matches that that law code switch that happens in that link that I just sent to both of you guys. The what was it? The Eupatride, I want to say it's how you say it, from the Greek. Like they go from the Draco code to the Solon code. Is the story that they tell you? So it's like it's even reflected in the law.
Oh no, absolutely. And think about it. You have the scales of justice. The scales must be balanced, and of course, this is related with that of God, name escapes me now. Virgo, which is the autumnal equinox. So that occurs in usually the 22nd of September, if I recall correctly. I think it is Virgo, yes. So this is on the zodiac. All of their major cullings or their major events, of course, the one in 2001, for example, Charlie Kirk as well, all of them occurred in that period of ritualistic preparation. So typically it's between 11 and 13 days, 10 or 13 days, something like that. And this allows them to, quote unquote, prepare for the transition, which is the ritual. And so, yeah, and of course, the Virgo, her sign is the scales. It's the scales. So during that time period, that's when everything is balanced. That is, if you will, the fall. That's when Thuban fell to earth, you know, or fell from the heavens. And everything that they're doing, this sort of desire, this eschatology to reclaim the lost civilization, right? To reclaim the lost wisdom, the primordial man, the Adam Kadmon, all of this is based around this sort of draconic, stellar cult, if you will. So even absolutely, their legal code is all based around that too, and scales of justice. There's a few other ones with the Twilight languages that I've listed, but I can't recall them off the top of my head now. But there's so many connections. Not just, of course, we have admiralty law with that of the water and the liquidity, the currency, the banks, God, even the merchants, right? The merchants, the chanters of the sea, those who are the illusionists, who
Yeah.
direct the frequency at you so that you believe the lie, right? And so, yeah, all of this, but that itself links with Draco, because as you recall from the etymology in the ancient Greek of drakon, it means serpent, but it also means sea fish. So this ties it in, of course, as well with Pisces and as well with Capricorn. So it's interesting because you see this Draco thing constantly pop up.
I had never even seen anything about this draconian constitution until today on Wikipedia. They've really added a lot of shit to Wikipedia lately.
Yeah, you were showing me that the amount of entries that you know that
and
has been made.
It's all within the last 4 years. It seems to like most of these pages would redirect you back to something else, like Players Republic or something.
Yeah.
But now they're all being filled out. I don't know where they're getting the information because most of the links are broken underneath.
we can thank Mossad's cyber division for that. So thank you, Mossad. Everyone say thank you.
Thank you, Mossad.
Suck it. No, IDF. Can I play this real fast? It's just pretty good. It's, what's it about? Looks like a minute. Looks like a minute, but it's good stuff.
Psychology, movies, books, radiation, music, drugs, graphology, sex, mostly prostitution, homosexuality, teenagers and adolescents. The whole program is geared toward our youth. You say these things can't be going on. Not absolutely true. What happens when you're in a city is you become desensitized. There's so much noise here, you don't even hear the noise because you become desensitized to it. You don't even hear the sirens and the police cars after a while. You become callous to it. You lose your sensitivity to touch your outer environment, so you lose your sensitivity to touch your inner environment. You become desensitized. If someone next to you gets shot, you say, oh, that happens every day. So you no longer begin to react to violence and death because that's all you see on televisions, in the movies, on computer games. So the objective is to desensitize you by keeping you in captivity in an urban environment. But we are not paying any attention to that. The music abuse. So we become very desensitized, which leads to suppressed feelings of rage and anger. People become angry because they can't express themselves. You can never express your true feelings to people. You may meet them on the street and say, are you having a nice day? How do you feel? And they say, it's none of your business. They're going to get hostile on you. So you're not even able to express even a kind thought. You see? So all this is being constantly suppressed in you, but it has to be released somehow. Some kind of way it has to be released. And it's released through anger with each other because we turn it towards each other instead of toward where the anger is coming from. We're always directed toward each other.
Forgiveness is between them and God. It's my job to arrange the meeting.
Yeah, shout out Denzel. Yeah, I mean that dude put it pretty spot on in relevance to what we're alluding to in a way.
Yeah, I watched that yesterday. I watched his video. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Go ahead, guys. I don't want to mess up the flow. I thought it was relevant. I thought it was
no, definitely.
It's funny. It's like it's an old vid. And so Silas is talking about looking up old stuff back in the day. Like it's an old vid. Like there were people trying to spit truth, before the internet was around. And that city, the urban thing. That's where they want us, to be in that civilization, urban situation, So all of us, you're all welcome to the ghetto. Welcome to the digital gulag. And you won't have gas for your car and you'll be in a city and then all this stuff. And And I really like the one homie was like, a lot of this is to distract and time waste. And, you know, Chris, I've been on this point where probably the last year where it's like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I just don't care about in this esoteric kind of some of these convos. I'm mostly etymology and symbol by symbol and then figuring it out myself. I actually have been going on this tip lately, Chris, and you know this, where I don't trust anyone but myself, and I can figure it out. If they can figure it out, why can't I figure it out? Most writings and things, you know, are to throw you off, you know, and send you down a rabbit hole. So, yeah.
Oh no,
that's like these straw man arguments. Yeah, you know, Chris, and it goes. I'll just last thing is like getting caught in some sort of debate is ridiculous. Like, what if both, quote unquote, both sides are wrong because it's all built on its own fallacies. So yeah, go ahead, Silas, man.
No, you're absolutely on point. Yeah, it's. I mean, effectively, the reason they want you in cities. And this always occurs with empires throughout history and civilizations, where as the civilization ages, it seeks to conquer and to almost to colonize. And I guess that would be the word, yeah, to colonize the rural areas. And it's interesting because it's the rural areas themselves that fundamentally, in the beginning, hold all the power over the city. The city just acts as a sort of, in the beginning, a sort of trade post, a way to centralize all of the produce so it can then be picked up and then exported out. And then eventually, as it develops, you get more and more middlemen, the merchants, essentially, and they begin to develop, you know, basically to develop elites within the city. And this is why civilizations collapse, because essentially the city wants to destroy this power imbalance between them, which is the artificial area.
Serfs.
That's this, yeah, and yeah, exactly. They are reliant upon the serfs in the rural areas for the food to come into the city, for all of, you know, all of the products, all of the produce. So what they want to actually do is to firstly colonize the consciousness of the rural areas to keep them in check, because they are, of course, more numerous. So they want them to believe that they're serfs, exactly like what you stated, and they want them to believe as though they're inferior to those within the city, the superior classes, the expert class, the priestly class, the kingly class, those who can predict when the eclipses will occur, you know.
And the Drakons, don't forget the Drakons are known for keeping a hoard of treasure.
Oh yeah, well yeah, the dragons throughout history have been these types of avaricious beings, absolutely, yeah, and they hoard wealth. Yeah, I mean it's hilarious when you look at it like this, and so there's almost a mythopoetic connection there with the elites themselves, right? They're from this draconic line. They are the reptiles. There's Draco that encompasses and again, like a Leviathan itself, like you see on the World Tarot card, that encompasses the Melian Polaris, that of Ursa Minor. So definitely there's something going on there. But the city itself eventually collapses because as you colonize the rural areas and build urban sprawl and you know, connect everything with roads and all of this, and you bring everyone into a sort of urban mindset, you make them urbanites. You basically get an elite overproduction. You get too many elites. You get too many people that want a luxurious existence, that want to, you know, live and have status and be like one of the elite, effectively, right? And this is what you see of our own civilization itself right now. This is why they're trying to get themselves out of this bind, this sort of cyclical end or terminus of a civilization, as we're sort of slowly moving towards, you know, with ever quicker pace as the decades go by. and this is what AI is used for. It's used to try and bring us out of this state, to restructure society, right? For example, look at our lives, be it in Europe, Britain, America, Canada, wherever you are in the West. I right now, even with the sort of travel restrictions with aviation fuel shortages and all of this, as they say, I could get on a plane. I could go on my phone right now. I could book a plane journey, a flight, pardon, to that of the Indian subcontinent, to the Maldives, to Dubai, to, you know, and I could get there by, you know, maybe 2-3 days time, right? Depending on when the next available flight is. So you're looking at a level of extravagance that we have today that, of course, even the Roman empires would have envied. So we're already in this sort of elite overproduction phase, right? I know it doesn't feel like it. We work 80 hours a week, and again, really, that's just to keep us distracted. It's to keep us exhausted. That's the reason for the way the economy is structured. We don't have to work 80 hours per week. All of our systems, especially the US system, it produces a surplus. It produces a surplus of food. A lot of the food is wasted because that's how you maintain the scarcity model. You know, everyone in the US basically could live for free with the system that they have right now. But again, then you would have elite overproduction. The system would implode and people would have too much energy. They wouldn't be exhausted after a hard day's graft or after an 80-hour week. And they would start, you know, they would sit around the dinner table and they'd go, do you know, I want more. And I think the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, I think they're, you know, effing us all over. And, you know, we should band together and we should oppose them. Yes, that's what we should do. So this is why they don't allow us to have leisure time, because leisure is the root of culture. And it's, of course, as well, the root of agency and the root of assertiveness of not just the individual, but of the community, not of the collective, of the community. So
yeah,
this is it. Yeah, this is basically the city. The city is the alembic, the containment chamber, the cucurbit.
yeah. Oh, dude, having the time to contemplate and ponder is typically, it's funny. Howard mentioned something about avoid the bourgeois or something. It's like you kind of almost have to be from an aristocratic family to have the opportunity to sit and ponder things, and, you know, as opposed to just living hand to mouth in a way. For sure, it's the business calendar, and that's part of that's why we have a calendar. The cow, you know how it is, right? And it's a 7-day cycle. You're on the clock, right? They have it. That's a business calendar. That's not a natural calendar, and most people here listening already know that. But I mean, yeah. Can I play a quick clip? I got a couple good clips actually.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
This one might make people. I shared this with you guys earlier in the in telegrams, but it's good. It's gonna make some people's gonna be uncomfortable. You've seen this already. Let's go, Chris.
So let's do it because
Go for it.
we used to live like people would burn their trash in the ditch, right? And so me and my buddy William, we would get out there, and my buddy Larry, and we would get all wet, and we would run and jump through the smoke in the ditch until we were pretty darkerish, right? And then, bro, we would kind of wait until somebody drove by and yelled the N-word at us.
N-word, I hate that. Say nigger. Say nigger.
Hey, wait, hold on.
Say, man.
If you need, I don't want to do something. I can't tell what's going on here, to be honest with you.
I just need to hear you say one thing and not be ashamed, all right?
Yeah.
Say I'm a nigger lover.
You need me to say it?
Yeah. Say I'm a nigger lover. Go ahead, man.
But just all of them?
Kind of, a little bit.
God, even a rotten one. I don't know. Do it. Please. Come on, man. Stop fucking the show up, man. He's fucking the show up, man.
You right, bro. Dang, dude.
Hey, shit.
Fuck. What can I say, bro? I'm a lover, bro.
I love this show. I love this fucking show.
Bro, I
Just had to share that. Maybe someone found value on that. What do you think, Chris?
A brave man.
Yeah, well, I was saying earlier when Mike Tyson
Hilarious.
when Mike Tyson tells you to do something, you do it. And if Mike Tyson is almost like he's unstoppable in terms of like political correctness cancellation situations because he's just awesome, so it's like,
Oh yeah. I mean the dude had a tiger supposedly. I mean,
oh yeah.
that's one dude I wouldn't mess with, to be honest. I mean you could see as well as like he's between a rock and a hard place, say it or and
he was genuinely confused as to what he was supposed to do.
Yeah,
he was like, am I gonna get hit if I say this, or do you want me to say it?
The whole thing's a psyop, so, but it's the walls of like this whole barriers of what you can and can't do or say or think. I'm telling you, people are busting out of that concept of you can't say this or that. It's like, huh?
Oh yeah.
So that's and comedians are kind of leading the way, or even in your own lives, satire. Obviously the only person that can make fun of the king's new clothes is the jester or whatever, right? So there's power in satire.
Sorry for interrupting you, man, but do you know it's really just on that point? I've been playing through GTA 4, a bit of nostalgia, I guess, and the amount it's unbelievable. It's almost like you're in a different world when you're playing it, right? I don't mean the open world. I mean the language that they're using in it. I obviously won't repeat it here because this is up on YouTube, but like they're going through every single slur of through every single group you could think of, and it's just said so nonchalantly, and I'm thinking, Jesus, this is 2008, and it feels like it's almost 50 years difference, in terms of the language that's utilized in it, even as well in terms of the way that the Rockstar satire sort of comes through and pierces the story, and you're thinking there's no way they would get away with this now, and it makes you wonder, what's GTA 6 going to be like? Is it going to be so reeled back? Probably, because I think the change is occurring, and hopefully it goes back. You don't say these words to necessarily. People don't say it generally. They're not going to say those things. But if you just ban it outrightly, you can't even put it into. You can't put these slurs. I'm not even talking about the N-word, but just any group. You can't put even these slurs in, for example, Grand Theft Auto games or 18+ games or 18+ films. There's a certain realism to the thing. These words are still used. They're just not culturally acceptable. And it's almost like you candy coat the whole thing,
They've been advertising this one for a while, right? This is the one. Where's this one supposed to take place? Is it Florida?
What?
Like the new one coming out.
Oh yeah, it's Vice City. It's basically Florida, Miami.
Yeah. I remember they had like when they were showing previews of it. I mean, I feel like it was a year or two ago now. It had to be at least.
It was 2 years ago, man.
2 years ago, they were showing like people scrolling through shorts and stuff on like Instagram Reels or TikTok or something like that. So I wouldn't doubt that they're going to start putting that type of language back if they're going to be showing like simulated TikTok shorts somehow within the game.
Oh no, definitely, yeah. It'll be. I'm hearing things as well regarding. It's going to be quite woke as well, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
I heard they were already doing like planning on doing advertising and stuff in the middle of it, and the advertisers are actually like paying for space, like a billboard in the game is like, you know, you got to pay that you can put your company on there. And I know that's not a secret, or I feel like they've gone back and forth with that coming out. And Sony, dude, there's a lot going on with Sony in the background, by the way, and with this video game. And with the next iteration of the whatever the next number of PlayStation is that's supposed to come along with it.
I'm honestly shocked it's not out yet. I thought it already came out. I haven't played games in a long, long time, but I can't believe they had a preview for that thing that long ago.
Bro, can I play this real quick? And
yeah, play it.
Yeah, man.
Chris and Silas, have you guys been noticing any people wearing masks out in the wild?
Yeah. They never stopped here.
Oh, they never stopped in California?
Yeah, there's always them. People, you'll see people all the time.
Oh, well, hardcore, respect the dedication to, even if it's ridiculous.
Right.
What do you see, Silas, over in your in Earl?
It's mainly just the elderly people that still wear it, you know. But man, I couldn't imagine. I think a lot of people wear it because it's quite cold here. But could you, like in the Los Angeles heat, wearing a mask? I mean, that's insane.
It's dumb in all kind of ways, but
oh yeah,
I think it's good actually. I appreciate, you know, letting me know who's who out there. It's a nice
more oxygen for you, for me, for me and you, and more. I guess I don't know what they're doing to themselves with what they're breathing in.
It helps me to identify them. So I'm like, all right, cool. Idiot, moron, NPC. See you later. I know to avoid y'all. You know what I mean? And that's where I get uppity, man. I've had attitudes where I've seen people like that. They're just so dumb. I get really like, you're beneath me kind of vibe, like energy. I'm not saying that's good or bad, right or wrong, but that's how little respect I have for people that wear masks or whatever. You know what I mean?
I feel you, man.
Let me play this. Mm-hmm. Oh, and if you do it again, then it's like, yeah, it's like you're if you had a Ronin social credit score, it would be, you'd drop a lot. You wouldn't be able to go nowhere. in Ronin realm, Trey realm, nah. Let me play this.
You with the antivirus agent, Mulder?
Yeah, it was a deadly virus spread by field mice in the southwestern United States several years ago.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the hantavirus. Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. What is an agency with such broad sweeping power doing managing a small viral outbreak in suburban Texas?
You're saying it wasn't such a small outbreak?
No. I'm saying it wasn't the hantavirus.
Well, what was it? What was it?
When we were young men in the military, your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare, a virus.
What killed those men?
What killed them, I won't even write about. We have no context for what killed those men, or any appreciation of the scale at which it'll be unleashed in the future.
A plague?
The plague to end all plagues, Agent Mulder. A silent weapon for a quiet war. The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism for which the men who will bring it on still have no cure. They've been working on this for 50 years. While the rest of the world have been fighting crooks and commies, these men have been secretly negotiating a planned Armageddon.
Negotiating with whom?
I think you know. The timetable has been set. It'll happen on a holiday when people are away from their homes. The president will declare a state of emergency, at which time all government, all federal agencies will come under the power of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, the secret government.
They call me paranoid.
Go back to Dallas, Agent Mulder, and dig. Or we're going to find out along with the rest of the country. When it's too late.
Goyim.
Goyim.
Oh wait, let's just hear what they got.
Your leaders are compromised. Your government has abandoned you. You are nothing but cattle, Goyim. Your children are being sacrificed, Goyim.
Execution. Still a proper message, or a correct message.
I don't really understand that part of it. So, is it like trying to is it a, are they talking shit? or is it supposed to be a warning? It sounds like she's talking shit.
It's a warning and talking shit, but it's done in a poetic way of going, hey, you're known as Goyim. Are you a Goyim? Are you a self-identified Goyim? Yo, your leaders are trying to kill you. Deal with it. Figure it out. See that.
That's something else I've noticed, which is within the conspiratorial culture. God, even on YouTube now, I can't actually believe it. You're starting to get talk regarding. I mean, what's a way to put this? The idea of the JQ. We'll just put it that way. I mean, honestly, you would have to go on to really obscure platforms to find this type of information in years gone by. And it's absolutely insane. There's these massive creators now. I mean, there's at least 3 of them. I won't name them, but there's at least 3 of them now that have came out of nowhere in the past year or 2. And YouTube are just allowing them to effectively say what would otherwise be, sort of outrightly automatic bannable offenses, instant ban, information that I just can't believe that they're being allowed to, espouse on YouTube, which tells you they're being allowed to do it. They're being permitted for a reason. That there's something going on here. I don't know if it surrounds the. Jump in.
I got to step away I have to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Me and you will talk, Silas, while he's gone. I would say it's more than likely the information isn't totally true.
Perhaps. I mean,
or it's either that or it's intended just to create. I mean, I don't even know if it's worth creating the havoc that it would create if it were true to allow it. So it has to be something like 80-20. You know what I mean? There's got to be a percentage of falsehood in there that's going to trip people up somewhere down the line.
I think the whole JQ, or somebody says the small hats, the reason that's being pushed now in this sort of anti-Israeli sentiment is, firstly, it aligns with Kabbalah and their eschatology. At the end, the belief is that Israel must be hated, and this initiates the Gog-Magog scenario, that all of the world must hate Israel, and so on and so forth. There is that. That's going on there. However, there's something beyond that. It just seems too pervasive. There's something. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know what they're up to. I don't know.
It was never just them. There's someone else. They're too small, man. They're too small. There's someone else. There's someone else. That they're dealing with, and we don't know I feel like there's theories out there, but I mean, I think there's a spiritual aspect to it too, but I don't think by any means that anyone in Israel at this point is in charge, honestly.
Well, it would appear as well, and I've spoke to Armin before on this, and I think there's something to this, that they may eventually use Israel as a sort of scapegoat.
Yeah.
Or it'll be used as a prop.
Even if they don't, and they may not have any idea, and they may think they're in charge, but
yes,
you're gonna feel pretty dumb.
There is that as well. See, they utilize eschatologies, like they're hyperstitional. They're basically self-fulfilling prophecies. They are the future writing our present,
exactly.
Of course, to bring its conditions into being, or the conditions for its beingness into being. And so anyone who is tinged by eschatology themselves must be subordinate to something higher, because the archon creates the simulacra. The archon creates the projection, the hallucination, in this case, the eschatology or the hyperstition. Therefore, Israel itself must not be the tippy top, because they're not going to delude or fool themselves, because the only reason you would delude someone or to cast an illusion on them is you're trying to bend them to your will. Of course, you're not going to cast an illusion on yourself. You know, what are you going to do? What, bend yourself to your own will? That makes absolutely no sense. So, yeah,
Exactly.
I think you're onto something there.
Now, who else is running the show? That's the question, man. That is the.
I think this person knows. They know the answer, bro, but they don't want to say it out in the open. So we got one person in the chat that knows, Chris.
Oh yeah, that's another group, but there's still someone even like we don't know the name. They don't even think they have a name. That's the problem. They're like an unnamed. There's an unnamed here.
I want to know. Tell me who. Tell me, bro.
I don't know the name. I don't think anyone knows the name. It's like a shadow.
They are legion. Yeah, they have many names. Yeah.
The mist.
Oh, I have names. Yeah. What are the names? Tell us the names. Spiritual ascension. But I think itself. I mean, somebody mentioned the Jesuits. All of these they're all intertwined. Kabbalah itself isn't just Jewish mysticism. You also get Christian Kabbalists.
Mm-hmm.
You get the Kabbalah itself is just it's a placeholder term for the mysteries.
Yeah, it's a there's multi-religious religions that are using various systems of Kabbalah. That's why you have all the different spellings and whatnot and variants of it.
Yeah, exactly. And also as well, since we brought up the X-Files, I sent a link there from Dabu, was it Dabu77 or whatever his name is? He keeps pushing this sort of alien reporting or story.
He seems like a fan. He's a little too tied to the Matrix for me to really intake.
Oh yeah. I've got to admit, I do get sort of nostalgia listening to him, because that dude's been around for a hell of a long time, you know. I think he was way back in like 2012, 2011. I do recall him from that time period. But well, he's just reporting on it really, so you know, it's not necessarily he's pushing this, but
what's he saying about it?
Well, basically Trump and a few others from the administration are sort of coming out with cryptic messages and I believe some AI generated images that seems to be them foreshadowing the idea that they're going to have, you know, this alien disclosure, right?
Oh yeah, it's like the files that they already released. That me and Ronin were going over some of them for fun the other night. There's like nothing in what they've put out so far.
There's literally nothing to do.
It seems like the whole thing with the pastors they did. We talked a little bit about that the other night. That's all like it's like a mix of some stuff that might be semi-true, but it's not gonna do anything except confirm beliefs people already have, freak out congregations of various religions, and then just like spread chaos across the internet using various algorithms to push what mostly is going to be a lot of nonsense. But it's like just more gamification. They're just gaming the reality. Do you want the UFO invasion? You want the alien invasion? Do you want World War III? What do you want? You get to pick. Pick where we're going. We're going to do it by consensus.
You may play a quick clip from Kurt Metzger.
Mm-hmm.
He's been winning me over recently. When I remember Chris, I first heard him I've always known him as a comedian, but I first heard him maybe, just a couple of years ago, starting talking about like stuff like this. And I feel like he's accelerated.
Remember I said he was going to start, he was like going to blow up. Because I saw he was bringing on people who like were way more conspiratorial than most comedians usually deal with. And even for him, it was like out of nowhere. And now he's like everywhere.
Yeah, man. Oh, let's all right. Let's figure out what this says on our own. No AI. Can we translate this? What is...
Okay, let's go on 2030. What is something in 2032? Something about Jesus died at 33.
With Jesus died. Yeah, you're right. Is he misspelling Spanish too? Or is this... Don't have us try and translate another language and then also have bad spelling. Or maybe it's perfect. I don't even know. But I think we figured it out, right? It's like
it's something about something will finish in 2032 because Jesus died at 33 or something.
Start to end with Jesus dying in at 33. So it's something end with Jesus. What is cave?
As a Scotsman, I can barely speak English, so I'm not even going to try to translate Spanish.
Okay, we're close. All right. Sorry, I was just checking on how can we decode things? Are we decoders or not? Can we decode Spanish, bro? Even if we don't know Spanish, can we decode it? Right? We're decoders here as well. We try to code and decode. So, but how good of decoders are we, Chris and Silas, if we can't even decode Spanish?
I mean, I think we got most of it, but it was like I don't think it was a complete sentence.
Oh yeah, you definitely can see the Jesus in the year or in 2032 and Jesus.
Yeah, it's like it's like what ends in 2032 and why does Jesus die at 33? It's like literally what it's saying. I have no friggin' idea.
You should know Spanish. You're in Los Angeles, bro.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what it says. So I don't really know how to answer that.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Let's play this.
The whole goal is we want you busy like bees, and we want it back to a hive mind and back to whatever thing led to the last collapse. And then it'll get wiped out like a server, the Conan Exile game server every month, and we rebuild it. That's what they do.
For the purpose of what, though?
Because the thing at the top that Gray talked to, they were fishing for Apollo, but they actually pulled in Zeus, Baal. He said he was Yahweh too, but I don't think he was telling the truth about it. But that thing's a nihilist and it wants to break away and have its own separate thing. But the thing is, they can't create. So that's why why are they fucking around with us if they're so fucking advanced? Because we interface with God and they don't. But that's what they told Gray. So when I say interdimensional trillionaires that transhuman and cannot transition back to human, that's what it means to me. I mean, I think I was right kind of guessing that, because that's why they need to go. And so they could be from the future. They could be, if you're doing space travel, you're automatically time traveling. That's just obvious. And that's where the parasite thing comes in. That's how you're able to do it. And if you go listen to old UFO encounters, especially from like Sweden and shit, you'll start hearing shit where this is coming out. Little details like it, you know, like one mission just got to.
Are you guys digging this? Because it's like another 2 minutes.
You know, this is the stuff I'm always talking about. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
man.
no, I don't know if it's like there's anything to it or not. It gets dark after a while, and you got to take a break. But
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's staring to the abyss.
But there's a lot there that I don't think is wrong.
So it looks like Silas, he looked up the Spanish. Should I share it? We were pretty darn close, bro.
Yeah, Chris was pretty much spot on.
I got some of it too, dude. I got a couple symbols in there.
What is it that ends in 2032, and why did Jesus die at 33? Well, 33 is the 33 vertebra. Also, as well, the 3 and the 3 is the hexagram. By the way, that's also why you have the 27 club, because 3 to the power of 3, or again 33, is that of 27. It equals 27, and also as well 27 reversed is 72, which is according to the Tetractys of Yod He Vahe, which is the 10 levels of the extrapolation of that divine name. It adds up to 72, hence the idea of 72 names of God, which interestingly you also have 72 demons or angels, depending on your position, in that of the Solomonic Goetia, or the lesser keys, or the key, just in general, the keys of Solomon. So yeah, that's how that numerology ties in. The 33 vertebra is the idea that the human body is basically the anatomical, ritualistic canvas of the mystery itself. So you have to climb the stairway to heaven. You have to go from the root, climb the 33 vertebra to that of the upper chamber, or heaven, to enter the thalamus, which is the inner chamber, the between the fornix, between the two. I forget what fornix is, what it means in Latin now, but it's basically between the two columns. They look like two columns. And you go into the inner chamber, which is the Kodesh, Kodeshim, the Holy of Holies. And yeah, you also, the idea of anointing as well, the Messiah or the Mashiach, and the anointing, that goes back to Egypt as well, with the mesh oil, the crocodile oil, would be used in the pharaonic ceremony to anoint.
That literally connects to that genius link I sent you guys earlier from what the hell was it again?
Oh, with is that the craftsman?
When I was like they were called the Minoan genius.
Oh right, yeah, very very interesting. Yeah. The Minoans interestingly had a snake cult as well, and they had all these statues that were in the shape of the sign that Moses had to hold up at the Battle of Rephidim, where I think they were battling the Amalekites. The Israelites were battling the Amalekites, and Yahweh told them, if you hold up this sign, which is basically in the shape of a W, or in the Hebrew lettering system, it'd be the letter Shin. According to 2 Kings 21:7, Yahweh etched this into Jerusalem, hence why Jerusalem, the topography is in the letter Shin. But this also ties in with Poseidon, who had the trident. That goes back as well to Shiva's Trishula, or the triple spear. Interestingly, Poseidon also had a temple in the center of Atlantis. Poseidon itself in Attic Greek means Lord of the Earth. This ties in with Melik Taus and Enki, and they also tie in with the Draco or Draconic sort of entity or energies as well. And yeah, so it all ties in with that basically. Yeah.
Jesus.
Jesus. That's Ojibwe, folks, for Jesus. And when I hear crocodiles, I can't help but think Florida. But that's another conversation. You guys know, I think what the stories of over there were over here. Just saying. Sorry, I'm just playing with my stuff. Monica wants us to keep going on Kurt, and I'm not mad at that one bit.
Yeah, no, keep going.
And guys, I know we cover stuff. This is just the brochure. For those that are new to the Ronin experience, my friends, welcome. And this, I always see this as just the brochure to all the SO-ness out there. You know what I mean? So I try not to do super deep dives because, you know, you got to take time. You know, you got to go and maybe check out the background like Silas. You know, you got to check out the old vids of old stuff. So, and spend hours and weeks and months doing that. So here, it's just, again, the brochure. So let me play Kurt. Let me play this. And I enjoy it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And I think we're getting better chemistry, Silas and Chris and I. Every time he blesses us coming on last minute.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
First of all, you throwing too many big words at me. Okay, now because I don't understand them, I'm gonna take them as disrespect.
All right, let's play. I got to update my sound bites.
Where they're supposed to get to just now from like a million years ago, right? And they're beaming shit back. Or when you hear about the Kabbalah being beamed back by the AI god back in time through forms.
Oh, by the way, see, like spiritual ascension, don't take what I'm saying that we don't deep dive here. That's not what I'm saying. And to be honest, you know, we know, well, this is a very in-depth YouTube channel with the people that are here, Chris and Silas and the homies that are around in the chat. Trust me, there's not many of us here that are like brand new to stuff. So I hear you saying, I see your chat. You're not the one. You're fine. 666, all that. Yeah, we're all very aware of these things. You know, it's like, you know, no offense. I'm just saying, like, know where you're at. know your surroundings and what type of wizards are in the same room as you are. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. That's all I'm saying.
Concepts and ideas because they don't have any mass, right? So you can send them back in time. You've heard that shit, right?
Yes. Do you buy into any of that?
Well, I do buy into how that would work. I mean, I think that they accidentally pulled Jesus through, trying to pull something through, like Apollo. They was trying to pull Apollo up. That's like the Nimrod guy. He's a guy. He's not a god. It's a guy, and just a lot taller. That's what Nathan Reynolds said. I think he's right because I've heard it now. Two ceremonies with a weird polarity, ritual, positive, negative thing involved to try to get through an eclipse. So that's something is coming in that isn't coming in any other time of the year. And they did it in the Dresden Mountains, the one in New York, Mount Dresden or something, or Dresden, New York. And it was the Black Gate is opened on the something mountain, they told, some crazy ass shit. And so they're always trying to commune with Apollo, who's telling them how to get technology back and do all.
Oh, by the way, Chris, I see your Minoan share. I keep these old weaves keep coming back up. These old kind of things that I know I've been in tons of discussions with other people decoding, but they keep resurfacing, which is interesting. I'll be honest, I can't remember a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we can look at that after we're done with Kurt here.
I feel like I've been down this road already on the anyway, let me just let Kurt go.
This other and who to kill and this and that, from what I understand. This is like from a couple of people stories. Okay, I'm just putting this together from stories. Right? So he said though he talked to like the daddy, like Saturn. He talked to Remfan, you know, and the message was that for the followers, like you're not even fit for food. Like the daddy didn't like them at all. His followers, he thought they were scum. They're worthless and not even worth eating, is what he told them in this vision. crazy, dude. We were on the phone talking about it. He's like, all right, man, I'm just gonna. It's funny when he tells you, because like people don't want to tell you this shit unless you're interested in hearing it, and it sounds crazy, but I just have heard so much shit now that I want to hear it because I need to
put
make
pieces together.
Mm-hmm. And Matt Ehret's got the whole thing of what the is the problem now? Oh shit! Hey, I got to do Jimmy show, dude.
Okay.
And there he goes.
Yeah. I don't know who that guy is. He said Matt Ehret. I'm not familiar with that person.
I feel like I might know. It's a guy. He's been on his show a few times. If you look, he's a younger guy, like younger than him.
Well, that narrows it down by a lot.
I mean, well, usually if you go on, they'll be like either his age or a little bit older, but he's like one of the younger ones. You'll see. He's like one of the last few episodes.
Gotcha.
But what he's saying is interesting there. It gets a little scattered at the end, almost reminds me of like the Saturn and Uranus type of mythology, just repeating itself.
I was going to mention as well, Chris, the animals that you're seeing there are sort of hippopotamus crocodile chimeras.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yet I don't see it. So that's why I'm like, what the hell? Why are they showing us something and saying it's something else? Because I don't think that's what that is. That looks like a donkey freaking cricket.
Yeah, it does look very maybe Typhonian or Setian. Yeah.
It's just like not at all a hippopotamus with a crocodile. There's nothing about it. Maybe the back, but not even the back. It's just, yeah, it doesn't match the description.
They're supposedly as well associated, or at least they were either inspired by or they inspired the later primordial goddess in the Egyptian pantheon of Taweret.
Yeah, I was looking at that before, and that's like the was that the hippopotamus one or the crocodile one? It's one or the other, right?
Sometime, yeah. I believe she's usually a hippopotamus, but I think she's associated with the crocodile as well.
But she's got a weird look. I'm looking at her now. It's like a weird. It's like a mixture of both too, kind of. Honestly, it looks more like a hippo, but
yeah, it's interesting as well that with the Minoan culture, because it appeared to be not necessarily matriarchal. That's too strong a word, but it was very sort of open and liberal in a sort of socio-sexual way, and from what we can see, at least from the sort of fashion that you see on the tablets that are depicted on the tablets of how the women would dress. The women wore this very, very unique and rather peculiar dress, so it was like a normal sort of dress, a long dress. However, they wouldn't have any sort of top half on, so their breasts would just be showing. And interestingly, the men had very, very effeminate, almost, near naked fashion. And it was very, very strange, very weird. They also, I believe as well, wore makeup, which is something they brought to Egypt. So again, it was like the Minoans had quite a degree of influence on the later development of the Egyptian culture, at least pre-Hyksos culture.
Well, shout out seafaring people in reference to that.
Well, this is what you're finding in Crete usually before them, according to the mainstream narrative, right?
And real quick, remove the scales. What if I told you Hebrew is actually relatively new? And you go, no way. Could you accept that? Check out David Ewing Jr. is just like if you're interested in that sort of thing, but there's plenty of sources, not just him, that it's starting to point to Hebrew being sent out in like the 1900s, the early 1900s. if you know what I'm saying, if you guys get the grasp
Oh,
of the
mhm.
rewrite of things. So anyway, sorry, Chris, go ahead, man.
I might share real quick that page one more time because there's something interesting at the bottom they just added recently that I wanted to. The wording of it stood out to me because it hadn't been there until quite recently. It's the bottom. I don't know if y'all can read.
If you can expand that,
How's that?
Hit it one there. I think that's fine. Maybe.
This part, the sacrificial aspect that they started adding to this page recently, and they used to call these like genii. They were like multiples instead of the genius, but they're equating a genius with a daemon or a demon. I mean, these should be separate things usually. A lot of people think demon comes from daemon. I've heard otherwise. I've heard it does. I've heard it doesn't. But the genius moves indirectly on a cylinder from Kakavatos, and it says, a hero stabs an upright lion while the demon urges him. The demon urges him. The demon urges him on from the demiurge is him from behind. The demiurge. Do you see that? Do you see the demiurge and the demon urges?
Demon urges, yeah.
I thought that was a really peculiar phrasing that I had not seen before. I don't think anywhere on like a mainstream Wikipedia page.
Yeah, it's
FYI, yeah, you can ask Chris and even Silas. I've been obnoxious about Phoenician for a while now. People probably roll their eyes when I kept bringing up Phoenician. So yeah, but imagine, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'm aware of Phoenician to the point it annoys people. Go ahead, Silas. I'm just going through the chat. But yeah, the demiurge is right there, man. That's wild.
That's what it seems like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think as well that this idea of the daemon and the angels themselves. I mean, it's interesting, of course, with the Twilight language example of that alone, with the angles, right? The angels, the angles. Daemon itself, I believe, relates to spirit. It's like a divine. Basically, it's the idea of a divine power, but it's like almost the apparition or the experience of a divine power. It's this sort of idea. So it's almost like this divine power is made manifest within these sigils or symbols, which sort of ties into why they would have outlawed, for example, idolatry, which is interesting. I've never, they talk about false gods and Abrahamism, but idolatry itself is outlawed because you're creating images on earth of that which exists in heaven. So it's sort of intimating implicitly that these things exist, that they are divine powers. So it's almost like a sort of henotheism that you see in Abrahamism. But
we have a Peter Pan here too, flying around. Looks like.
Where's that? Oh yes, yeah.
This character right here. This is a really bizarre way to depict. It's like Icarus or something. Master of animals.
Master of animals. That may relate as well to Pashupati, whose Sanskrit name literally means the Lord of all animals.
He's got his Phrygian cap on too.
Yeah, he's got the Phrygian cap on, yeah. Or it could also be a horned crown, which is something you see in both the Akkadian and Sumerian.
Yeah, there is a little something behind that looks like it could be like a...
They look like eagles. What's interesting as well, you see these sort of griffins at the bottom, or just straight up lions, and then you've got the eagle above. So that this is almost indicating, if you pull up the World Tarot card, you have the lion at the bottom, which is Regulus, and of course the eagle at the top. And this also ties in with hantavirus, because remember, patient 0, which that ties in with the full card, which is the 0 card. Yeah, exactly. So you see the Leo or Regulus on the right-hand side. It would be the Divine Feminine's left-hand side. And then above that, so that's the side of judgment, the side of the more energetic and the side of disparity. And then above that is, it's actually meant to be Scorpio, but sometimes Scorpio was indicated not as a scorpion in some ancient and non-Western sources. It's sometimes depicted as Aquila, as the eagle. But it basically is the sign of death, right? It's the mark of death. And by the way, the October Revolution in Russia and a lot of other wars, especially ones that George Bush, his administration had enacted or initiated, they were associated with the Scorpio, and I believe Scorpio's in November, if I recall correctly, when it comes about. But anyway, they're aligned with the dates of Scorpio. Anyway, the hantavirus, he was an ornithologist, which is he's basically studied birds, this patient 0, and his name was Leo Schipelrud. So Leo, the lion, he looked at the birds. Now, how can we tie it? Of course, he wasn't looking at an eagle, but ornithologist, funnily enough, orna comes from the Proto-Indo-European root for eagle. So you see this same disparity, just like you're seeing here, by the way.
Yep.
You see the same thing. And what I think this is probably indicating, this master of the animals, is similar to Pashupati. It's basically this notion of the solar cycle being the eternal, the eternal death of the old and the eternal child of the new, So that fundamentally, I think that's what's going on. You see the wheel, yeah. So the wheel's there, yeah.
We gotta see people here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is still the weirdest picture I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's very alien. Very alien. I bet you could overlay it on itself and get something. Maybe I'll look at that later on. Oh, look who joined us.
Oh yeah, and about it's funny, someone was mentioning, remind me of the Bering Strait, emphasis on the Burr, and for Siberia, emphasis on the Iberia. There's this crossing, this ancient crossing that you could actually go above Canada. It starts with an A and I forget it, so I forget about what but that was probably maps from in the 1600s that show very navigable, if I said that right, north of Canada, so you can get from one side to the other. Of course, you got to look at things with looking down, like with the North Pole, the magnetic north, that because we're on a plane, right? We all know that. Shout out Slick Dissident. And that reminded me, Chris, of seafaring people. You know what I mean? And the Fartic, Seafartic, seafaring. You know what I mean? It's in the name.
Yeah, man.
So shout out Slick Dissident. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Reagan and Simplified Symbolism in the chat.
Reagan, what's going on, bro? How are you? How are you, brother?
Is he with us?
I'm gonna have to head off, guys.
Okay.
We got two Reagans.
Jesus, I'm definitely gonna have to head off. I'm getting double vision now with the tiredness. I'm seeing two Reagans.
He's split. He's splitting.
It's like Dr. Evil and Mini Me.
Does it come through twice?
Go ahead.
We hear him now. Yeah, we hear you.
All right.
Nice. So that's
wasn't working very well for a minute. So
good. It's wild. There's two of you, but oh wait, there we go.
There it goes.
Yeah. All right.
Well, Silas is just he's about to take off, and we're gonna go for a couple more minutes. I'm struggling myself.
I know you joined us late, brother.
Well, this is the middle of my work shift, so you guys want to kick it up or what? No, I'm just kidding. I just got back.
Do you got any hot fire? Do you got any hot fire to share with the chat?
I mean, just what you guys were talking about kind of was, I was driving across the country the last 7 days, and at least the eastern half here, and checking out a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, the symbolism stuff's crazy. A lot of all this news articles going on in the world, and all the symbols and the numbers. See, the chat was going pretty heavy. It's wild. I mean, I don't
specific?
have anything like particular at the moment, like in my mind, and with the happenings of things and all the chaos, it makes me very calm. So, a lot of this shit that's going on has kind of been something I've been expecting, I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah, I feel like all of us are pretty calm, which is interesting.
I don't have anything too burning or anything to bust in with at the moment. I just saw you guys on, thought I'd jump in. Silas reached out earlier. I just caught it, so.
Well, to give Silas a proper goodbye later on, Silas. Appreciate you, man, for coming on, dude.
Yeah, you sound like you're about to fall asleep right now. Did I already put you out? I know I got a monotone voice, but
I'm starting to struggle, man. I've been doing.
No, I think what are we at 2 hours almost? That's probably why.
I can't hear you. Shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah. This is a professional show, everyone. You know how it goes.
I don't know if he could hear us or not. But
dissonance in the chat.
I know I sent links to all of them, but 2 hours in, and we did yesterday. Did we do the day before yesterday too? Yeah, we did. We did 3 days in a row. We did Friday too, didn't we?
Yes.
Me and you really just I think kind of freestyled Friday when did not connect on many things. We were just like, whatever, we're gone. And then Saturday we came back with Silas, and that was fun. And then today we just randomly last minute. I
bet we dominated on the one that you're not feeling so hot about, maybe.
The first one, just me and you. I think we weren't bad. It was just I think we were tired. Honestly, we were quick. It was quick. We didn't have much. There's not really much to talk about. You can't keep talking about the same shit over and over and over.
Well,
I mean, we can, but
put it that way, dude. I try to. I don't want
to
talk about the same thing.
And I don't mean it like that. I just mean there's only so much we can cover in a weekend sometimes.
Yeah, I just like to hang too in the convo. I mean, I know. Yeah, man.
Well, that day, remember that was actually, you were wanting to go early because I was down to listen to the stuff you had planned and you didn't feel like reading it.
I think maybe, yeah, man.
Because I like it when you get into your alternate history stuff because I'm always down to get into that.
Okay, cool. Because I know sometimes I told you
no, that stuff's always good and it's always new. It's always new to me because I'm not as versed on that stuff. That's why whenever you do that, it doesn't bore me. I love doing it. But
wow, okay. I thought people got bored. It's starting to sound like class or something. Or it's very alternative. For those that are in, I'm sure everyone here is into the past stories, but it's different than most things, and it's backed up by data, and it's pretty just all the past, everywhere in the past, everything's inverted. So, but that's good to know, Chris. It's
Again, yeah, dude. Whenever I feel like the only time we don't have stuff to talk about is when we get probably frustrated with either numbers in the chat or we just get annoyed with the people around us in this mixed up realm we're in right now. And it looks like they're actually stopped. They're not throttling you as bad as they were. So
For real? Did we punch through?
I think you're starting to, man. I mean, my channel's hit or miss usually. It definitely helps when Silas comes on. His channel brings in people.
Brings all the girls to the yard.
But I think it's a benefit of having. I mean, mine was started later than yours, and his was as well. You had yours for a long time now, so they've had you on their radar for more than just 2020.
Yeah, and if you're looking to grow a channel out there, folks, don't do what I do. I'm like the anti show grower, and no one else to blame but me, and it's fine. You need to get past the labyrinth, get past the dragon, become a dragon, and get to this special place. Oh, well, that's good. I'll put together more history, man. Sometimes I feel like it's just me.
No, I love when you do that stuff, and we have like a whole thing we can go through, because I like weaving through the history that you've been studying, because a lot of it usually connects for me.
For me, it checks out. It sounds wild, but it checks out.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know Slick's wanting to weave soon. He's wanting to come on and weave soon. We should do one with him soon too.
Yeah, dude.
I think Reagan's gonna be waiting for next time till when he's on has a computer in front of him instead of his phone. The phone sucks. I tried using it the one time. Remember when I came on the show with you and Mooney, and I was using like my iPad or something? It was awful, horrible. I was in New Jersey.
Oh, well, it's fine if you sound like you're, in a bunker or something.
It was just like you can't use it. There's no functionality. It's like I was trying to hook up even like headphones and like just have a pair of headphones and the charger in. It just would not work. So I'm like using a speaker with. It just was a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, to Tommy, I'm aware of the archivist. He's fine.
Yeah, me and Emily have been using some of his stuff for the periodic table stuff we've been doing.
But Queen Califia is definitely a thing. Absolutely. Griffins, dude. Yeah, I don't believe in dinosaurs, but then you start talking to me about griffins now.
Remember that? It looked like a griffin, that old Montauk monster that washed up, and or supposedly. I mean, I know they say it was something else. Whatever the hell it was, it did look like a griffin without the wings. Remember that thing that washed up in New York, Montauk, New York? That everyone made a big deal out of. It was in like the New York Post and whatnot. Long time back, back before I think I moved out here even. So that's like, damn. At least over 10 years ago.
Yo, let's get out of here, Chris.
Sounds good to me.
And people they're missing out. They think because Silas dropped that the value of the shows is going down in some way. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying.
Well, he had a bunch on his channel who were streaming, so we're probably down to like the 2 on our channels, because I stream this one on mine too. So whatever's on yours and on mine that's all we got going now. But he had like 30 people join on his end alone, which we appreciate you, Silas.
Yeah. He's always got ideas on things.
Oh yeah. Silas, he's the man, bro. He's a good guy.
He must enjoy it because he goes his own stuff, does our stuff,
When you got an Irish or Scottish, I almost said Irish accent, a Scottish accent like that, man. You could tell. You better be talking. Better be using it to your benefit.
Oh, yeah. Shout out, homies. Oh, see, like this homie got you through Gillis.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Woo. I met Woo when I went on the SNX radio with Coley. He's a good guy. Good guy.
Well, welcome to the extended fam. welcome to the Ronin experience.
I need to get Gills to come on here with us one night and just play around.
Oh, Chris, I wish I had some prepared like space thing right there where I could have pressed it like welcome to the Ronin experience. Yeah.
That's what you need to get.
Yeah. We need better quality here, folks. So,
we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Should we call it?
Using the code for utilities. That's what I'm all about. Yeah, let's get out here. My mouth is dry. Hold on a second. Slick showing up late. Reagan showing up late. For class, we won't hold them. We won't dock their pay. That's Simplified Symbolism is Reagan. Shout out Woo, Dead Sea Girl.
Make sure you check out all their channels too. Slicks, check out Slicks, check out Simplified Symbolism, check out Silas, and subscribe to the Ronin Experience, which is at Bird Dog 1D45.
Yup.
And then if you want, subscribe to mine. I don't really care. You can, you can't. Oh, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, guys. Right?
No pressure, No one's pressuring anyone to do anything.
Yeah, no pressure. It's just if you want to be, you could be 10% gay or you could be 50% gay. That's your choice. I recommend leaning towards the 10% gay only and joining all of our channels. You don't want to go 50-50 because now you're getting into weird Baphomet territory.
Some might call that balance.
And you'll have a lot to explain when the videos come out. And yeah. Oh gosh. I'm done, Chris.
Yeah, we need to go. We need to go before we get in trouble.
We gotta get out of here. We gotta go. Later, Chris. I appreciate you, man. You're the best, dude.
Appreciate you, brother. Good times as always.
Yeah. All right. Peace, everyone. Love. Gratitude. Bye.
Stuck in my labyrinth mind. Ooh, help me find a way out. Help me navigate the pain now. I'm feeling all the pain now. Stuck in my ways now in my labyrinth. Alone in my labyrinth mind. Should I go left? Should I go right? Searching for the answers to life. We need a light. I'm just trying to find a way out from the madness. Trying to break out from the sadness. What have us? Looking for the end of the tunnel. Can't remember why my memory shuffled. I hit replay the rebuttal. Wish I was subtle. Feel regrets with a bottle. Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow. Maybe I'll shake up the sorrow. Fuck it. Drain my energy enough to replace. Never think my way out of this place. Just give me space. I've been walking these halls, spinning my own webs, sowing my own fate. Stop before I'm dead, cause I'ma keep my soul forever. Like past my eulogy, the war for my spirit's nothing new to me. That's why my music's imbued in me, irrefutably. I'm truly deep. I'll give you a part of my heart for you to keep. Good vibration, meditation, relaxation. taxation. We one nation. Got a mind like a labyrinth. Most of my thoughts, I can't gather it. Dreams in my vision, imagined it. Premonition, future conscious, living low, the world resistant. Gotta stay persistent, cause I've been at my lowest of lows. Locked in my self-composition, notes was my only hope. Best way to cope, so I cut the rope. Cause this life is too beautiful, even when it rains. Sometimes a pen can teach you change. We all part of something, gotta find your lane. Gotta find your purpose and escape the maze. Let's go, indigo my soul shine go. Forever gonna take that O2 road. We explode, deep smoke till I'm ghost. Changing lives, all I post. Put the money in my teacher glow. Conscious living entertainment. Know that we destined for greatness. Talk down, hit the pavement. Just how society raises. Boom, boom, like a Kawasaki. Straight to the rock. Ain't no discussion. Gotta live for something, and it's what a pain. Never love to lose, but I love to gain. They saw me and my teeth shining. Or gleaming like a damn diamond. When the labels call, no, I'm never signing. It is on my arm, so that's how I grow. Independent, don't need no permission. Yeah, smoke in the room, but my vision. You smoke, take me to fourth dimension. Someday we gon' change how we grow. Don't feel no pain no more. Now you can't take my soul. This life too beautiful.